Hi, everybody. My name is Vega, and as he said, I'm running for Allentown School Board. A little bit about me, before he rings the bell, is that I'm a founder of a non-for-profit organization that I have founded myself and financed myself in this community and throughout the Lehigh Valley, including multiple states. The mission to my organization is to create tomorrow's leaders through the arts. Period. It's that simple. So we take one child at a time, one neighborhood at a time, one family at a time when we change lives. And we encourage them they can be greater tomorrow, so that they can stand here and fight for their generation on the next go-round. Why do I want to run for Allentown School Board? Well, I've been doing this for a long time. I hear everybody saying they're a public servant. Great job. I applaud everyone. I feel like I've been a slave to my community. And when I say that, it's because it has been completely volunteered. So not only do I get up and I go and I work a full-time job to support my home and to raise a child that's not mine, as I have taken in a child 6 years ago and I raised him as a single parent myself, I then go out into the community on my free time and affect lives, one life at a time. And I've been doing it. I'm going to continue to do it. And I feel that with the experience that I have, I sit on multiple boards. I sit on a board called Girls, and what we do is we work with children and families of sexual abuse and crisis. I sit on another board called Self-LV, which is a women's reentry program. The reason I sit on these boards and I support them is because a child, when you go to help one child, you're not just helping the child, you have to help that child's social environment. If you do not affect his social environment, the success of that child is very little. And so I have found that in my experience, that has been very true. So I want to take my time, my experience, my knowledge, my know-how, and be able to be part of the resolve for the Allentown School Board.
The question I always wonder about with school board candidates is why anyone would take on the headache for an uncompensated position. But perhaps that's not the best question to ask. So what I would ask instead is there something that if you had your way that the school district should be doing that it is not now doing, given the resources we have, obviously?
Well, given the information that I have, I don't want to say that anything's being done wrong. Congratulations for the fight that the Allentown School Board members have been doing. My mission is just to make sure that our families and our children do not feel invisible anymore. And I will make that happen.
Any other questions for the candidate? Yes, sir.
Hi, Linda. I don't know if I could direct this question to you directly or this gentleman in charge of the school. I've looked at the numbers in the paper. The graduation rates are really deplorable. You're talking 65, 67%. You look at the test scores, they are not exactly anything to jump over hoops for. My question would be, why aren't these schools producing higher achievement levels as far as the test scores? And to put it bluntly, I drive the streets here. I live on this side of town. I see kids walking the streets at 1:30 in the afternoon. I graduated from William Allen High School, 71, okay? We went to school, we started at 8:25 and we went to 3 o'clock. The only time you left early is if you had a 7th period study hall. I'd like to know if I'm paying school tax for my property and everything else, and I really, given the fact that these test scores are that low, I really observe and it bothers me that I'm paying the school tax when you've got children running around these blocks, and I'm paying to have these kids in school. I'd like to have some answers.
Sure. So what I would like to say is that I've done a lot of research, okay? Not just research by reading what's in the newspaper, but research by sitting with the children and the families, okay? By sitting with some school officials who have been gracious enough to lend me their time so that I can understand where they have been and what they've been doing. As far as the graduation rate, I agree with you. It's way too low when the other districts around us are excelling beyond us, right? So I agree with you. So in my term, if I can be part of the resolve to get that 65 to a 67 or to a 68 or to a 69, that's a huge goal in the city of Allentown, okay? Why is that important? It's important that we have more graduates, because the more graduates that we have, then they will then have the opportunity to get an education or to take a job in the city to add to our city, right? It's a domino effect. Those that are walking the streets at 1 o'clock in the afternoon could be for many reasons. It could be that maybe they're on a half-day program. It could be maybe they're on a work program. It could be the fact that my time is up.
There was,
what do you feel about charter schools? Are they really improving their student quality? Or are they just sort of taking it through?
So I've been asked this question a lot.
the question you got here deals with charter schools.
Yeah, a whole lot actually. I've heard some good and I've heard some bad. At this time, I don't want to make a decision whether I'm going to be for or against charter schools until I have more knowledge and get some back-end information, which I think is going to be the most important part. As of right now, some charter schools are excelling, some are not. Some public schools are excelling, some are not. So I can't really make a decision right now. Okay.
I guess my thing was about the charter school. My great-granddaughter goes there and she's concerned she's got 2.5 years to go. Will it be there for 2.5 years?
We don't know. I don't know. The Allentown School Board does make those decisions based on the success of the school. So the school is going to have to meet its criteria in order to continue its funding.
Why do you fund like the high school? They don't meet their criteria. Your
The
graduation rate in high school isn't that great, but you fund them. Why don't you fund the charter school if it doesn't meet their criteria?
You mean for the public high school?
Right.
Okay.
But you have to.
That's actually a really good question. Now, I would love to say that I'm funding it, but I'm not. Not yet. The public school is the public school. It's a systematic system put in place. The board has to make decisions to try to be able to excel and meet the curriculums and the standards for those students. I mean, we can't shut down a public high school. So, but there are other options for parents. There are cyber schools, the school district has a cyber version. You know, there are the charter schools. So there are more than one options.
Well, I'm not looking for an option. She's looking if she'll be there. What's she going? If that closes, what happens to her?
For the charter school?
If this charter school would close the end of this year or the end of next year, where does she go?
If they shut down the charter school because it didn't meet its criteria to stay open,
Where would she go to school?
then it would be up to the parent to decide what other school option they're gonna put them in. It could be another charter school, or it could be a public school, or it could be a cyber school.
So in other words, there's no plans. It's a could be. It's not they can. Like you're saying, they could do this, they could do that. What can they do?
If I understand your question is that when if a school closed, a student was attending, where are they going to attend? And her answer was that they could be up to the
But there's
parents.
nothing
Is
set
your
up there.
question-
You can go to high school, back into high school, and where's she going to fit in then? In high school, because it's a whole different program.
What grade would she go into?
Right, and where would she fit in? Because it's a whole different program than they have in high school.
You're absolutely right, sir, and I don't have the answer for that. What I would like to do is go find you the answer. I'll give you my card, and I'll be more than happy to get you the answer.
Okay.
Okay?
Because I know she's very interested in that.
Okay.
Anything else from Kennedy? Thank you.